Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. To begin with the latest on the release of the Dapchi schoolgirls kidnapped by Boko Haram insurgents on Friday, on February 19, the government has now confirmed 101 of the 110 girls initially kidnapped have been brought back by the terrorists. The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, said the return of the girls follows negotiation by the government and its international partners. He, however, insisted that no ransom was paid and noted that the girls were released unconditionally. The minister also revealed that the 9 girls still unaccounted for are currently being profiled to determine if they are among the girls released.
No, Mr. President did actually assure Nigerians that the abducted girls will be released. But he also said that violence and confrontation will be ruled out. Based on that, the federal government, with the aid of some very friendly countries, embarked on back-channel negotiations. These back-channel negotiations has led to the release of these girls. What I can confirm today, this moment, is that these girls were released yesterday, but one of the conditions, number one, they were released unconditionally, no money change hands. Number two, they only had one condition: they will return them to where they picked them. So in the early hours of today, they did return the girls. But of course, most of the girls went to their parents' homes. But efforts are now being made to ensure that all of them are documented.
Meanwhile, despite the release of the Dapchi girls, advocacy group Bring Back Our Girls have said they will proceed with their legal action against the Nigerian government. The group had last week issued a 14-day ultimatum to the Nigerian government to ensure the rescue of the Dapchi girls and the 113 Chibok schoolgirls still with Boko Haram. They have welcomed the release of the Dapchi schoolgirls, but noted that they will proceed with a court case. The group also revealed that they will investigate the circumstances surrounding the release of the Dapchi schoolgirls. Still on the anti-insurgency campaign, one of the Boko Haram commanders in the military's most wanted list has been arrested by troops of the Nigerian Army. Army spokesperson Brigadier General Texas Chukwu said Ubayi Issa was arrested in Kala village at Damawa State, northeast Nigeria. He is number 37 on the list of suspected Boko Haram terrorists published by the Nigerian Army. Also apprehended during the operation were 3 other suspected Boko Haram members identified as Muhammad Buba, Abdullahi Abubakar, and Yakubu Abdullahi. The Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reacted to reports of Nigerian migrants being left to their fate overseas. Speaking at a press conference on Wednesday, spokesperson of the ministry, Tiwatokbe Elias Fatile, assured that it prioritizes the welfare of all citizens, adding that never was there a moment of abandonment. He insisted that the ministry has been working closely with all Nigerian missions and have collaboratively been addressing the problems associated with Nigerians abroad. He, however, appealed to Nigerians in diaspora to always respect and abide by the laws of their host countries, as contravention of such would always attract stiff penalties.
I want to use this opportunity to reiterate this fact that any mission across the world, and I'm saying this as spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and with my experience, first and foremost, the welfare of Nigerians, very paramount to our hearts. We don't joke with it. And so is it in Malaysia, is it in Indonesia, is it anywhere where these very stringent laws about drug-related offenses are, the diplomats, the mission is very, very, very keen about taking care of the welfare of Nigerians, either those who are detained or those who have been jailed already, and ensure that they have fair hearing. And they also appeal to Nigerians whenever we travel outside the shores of this country to respect the laws of those countries. Every country has its own rules and regulations and laws. And it is important, once we move out of the shores of Nigeria, to get acquainted with those laws and respect those laws so that we don't run foul of those laws by which we are arrested and then it becomes an issue. And then before you know it, they will expect the ministry or the embassy to come and struggle to free them. We will try our best as a ministry, we try our best as diplomats to make sure that the welfare of Nigerians is taken care of. But don't forget that each of these countries have their own laws that must be respected.
The National Assembly has finally agreed on a date for the passage of the 2018 budget. The document, which has been stuck in the legislature since November 2017, is expected to be laid before both chambers on April 19 and subsequently passed on April 24. This was disclosed by the Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara during plenary on Wednesday. It comes a day after President Muhammadu Buhari directed ministries, departments, and agencies of government to defend their budget before Friday. Senator Dino Melaye's battle to retain his seat at the National Assembly will begin on April 28. This is the date the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed to begin the process of recalling him from the legislature. Resident Electoral Commissioner in Kogi State, James Apam, announced the date at a stakeholders forum on Wednesday in Lokoja. Apam said the process will begin with a verification of the voters who signed the recall register and will be followed closely by a referendum. Last year, 52% of voters in Kogi State voted to recall the embattled lawmaker. INEC needs only at least 50% of the registered voters to begin a recall process. An Abuja division of the Federal High Court has refused to lift its orders barring the National Assembly from overriding President Muhammadu Buhari's veto of the Electoral Amendment Bill. The court, presided by Ahmed Mohammed, had in its previous sitting stopped the National Assembly from proceeding with implementation of Section 58 of the Constitution, which allows lawmakers to override the president in the process of signing a bill into law. The court also rejected an application by the Action People's Party (APP) to join the suit. The case is expected to continue on March 26.
We have made it clear in the process we filed that no court of law in Nigeria, no court of law has the constitutional power to stop the National Assembly from performing its legislative function. The powers of the National Assembly is clear in Section 4. That of the executive is in Section 5. That of the judiciary is in Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution. So the court cannot, by its ruling, stop the National Assembly from overriding the president. So as it were, we filed application for joinder to vehemently oppose this suit because we believe that reordering the election sequence will help democracy. It will help the upcoming political parties like my clients, the Action People's Party, to win election in areas where they are popular. The issue of bandwagon effect will be cured. We believe that clause 25 of the Electoral Act Amendment 2018 is just, is justifiable, and the Senate and the House of Representatives should immediately proceed to override the president.
Nigeria has been advised to implement more democratic reforms in order to ensure growth and development. This was part of the submission of speakers at the Third National Political Summit in Abuja, organized by the Save Democracy Africa. The event was brought together by representatives from different parties, policy analysts, lawmakers, and other stakeholders.
Undertaking reforms is a necessary path in the life of institutions, societies, and nations. After a certain period of time, the need for change arises, primarily for purposes of renewal, improving matters, and for making systems work better. It could as well be prompted by the desire to find solutions to problems which impede progress. Under such circumstances, therefore, undertaking reforms is the best thing to do and the surest way to bring about the desired changes in a manner that you want it to happen.
We are concerned that if our practice of democracy does not generate development, eradicate poverty, create employment, reduce crime and corruption, then democracy itself could be in danger and may very well become unpopular.
Save Democracy Africa believes that creating an enabling environment for sustainable peace is essential to building a nation and to having a peaceful election. But this can only be achieved through regular dialogue among important actors in the nation's governance architecture and among important political stakeholders. it is becoming clearer that both the state and non-state actors in the Nigerian project are gradually coming to terms on the need to reform governance, the political structure, the social and economic structure of the Nigerian Federation. What is yet to be achieved is the consensus on the form and trajectory for such reform.
The Ikeja branch of the Nigerian Bar Association has rejected the downward review of the land use charge law by the Lagos state government. The government had last week reduced the charges by 50% after protests by the lawyers and civil society organizations. However, the Ikeja branch of the NBA is asking for a complete reversal of the charges. The lawyers made their position known at a press conference in Ikeja on Wednesday.
We reiterate our rejection of the land use charge, the high litigation costs in court, the commercialization of bail, borehole levies, car registration fees, and all such other oppressive, illegal, extortionate charges of Lagos State government. The land use charge law of 2018, as now known, must be repealed. Secondly, Lagosians, from our own understanding and interactions, are actually not against taxation in Lagos State, and they are not even against increase in taxation. However, the condition of the acceptance of taxes in Lagos State are: 1, it must be transparent; 2, it must be gradual; 3, it must be reasonable; 4, it must be legal; and finally, it must be properly utilized. Let the government, let the parliament, that is the Lagos State House of Assembly, within 7 days from now, today is the 21st day of March 2018, from now publish in the papers the proposed draft of the reviewed land use charge of Lagos State for interested residents and stakeholders to study, for adequate participation in public hearings that will precede, that should precede, that must precede any amendment, and which amendment should be delayed until May 2018, where the government of Lagos neglect, fail, and refuse to positively consider these positions of the NBA Ikeja. Our branch will organize and embark on another protest action on Thursday, 30th March 2018, to make the government truly answerable to the electorate.
Nigeria is among 15 African countries warned by the World Health Organization of a possible outbreak of listeriosis. Listeriosis is a bacterial infection most commonly caused by Listeria monocytogenes. It can cause severe illness, including severe sepsis, meningitis, or encephalitis, sometimes resulting in lifelong harm or even death. Listeria is also primarily transmitted through the oral route after ingestion of contaminated food products.
People to get only 10 people to register to vote, 10 new voters. Each of us standing here today, when you get back home, when you get to your place of work, your school, try and get 10 new people that do not have their PPC to register to vote. We're going to take on our website onevoice.ng, onevoice.ng. Please go there, give us the information. If you get 10 people to vote, then you're amongst us.
So at least start with your voter's card and begin to use that to bargain about the type of person you want to see on February 16, 2019 and March 2nd on the ballot paper.
So we want to focus on people who haven't voted before. It's 100,000 people who are looking to pledge that, because that gives us a minimum of 1 million new voters.
Instead of to say, my vote no go count now. Try vote first, so you see whether it will count, you know.
Mr. John! Mr. John! What is it now?
What is it now?
Please turn down the volume of your music. It's too loud.
And how is that your business?
It is disturbing me. I can't sleep.
And the same way you are disturbing my right to good music and where I enjoy it. Eh? What's wrong with you? You didn't that person complaining.
Maybe we thought that you have lost your mind. Are you having a party?
I'm just respecting you, sir. You remember I've paid my house rent too.
You will not understand why we are complaining because you do not care about other people except yourself. Look, the transformation we need in this country begins in this compound.
Yes, now.
From you, and I. This your selfishness is an offshoot of corruption. And corruption
Not in my country.
Oh, you know, go to your bank. Go.
Corruption not in my country.
Glad to have you back. Nigeria plans to raise 53.96 billion naira at a treasury auction on Wednesday after repaying the same amount of bills with the aim of lowering its borrowing cost. The debt office has said it would repay some treasury obligations in phases as they mature. It plans to repay 482 billion naira of treasury bills in the second quarter and half the amount it wants to raise between March and May. Settlement for the bills issued on Wednesday would be on March 22nd, according to the auction calendar, while the amount redeemed will hit the banking system, swelling liquidity. The federal government is negotiating $15 billion loan to complete the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri rail project. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi disclosed this after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. According to him, the Itakpe-Warri Railway project will be completed and commissioned by August this year. The minister told State House correspondents that the rail project in the southeast had been approved but were being delayed by lack of funds to commence work. Oil prices edged up on Wednesday, lifted by tensions in the Middle East and healthy demand, although rising U.S. output continued to weigh on markets. U.S. crude futures were at $63.69 a barrel, while Brent crude futures were at $67.56 a barrel, up by 14 cents. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on Tuesday arrived in Washington for a state visit, raising speculations the United States could reimpose sanctions on Iran following renewed criticism of the 2015 nuclear deal. Should the U.S. reimpose sanctions against Iran, Energy Consultation FGE said that would likely result in a 250,000 to 500,000 barrels per day drop in its exports by year end. The Democratic Republic of Congo has discovered that more than 200 magistrates have been working under false qualifications. The Commission of Inquiry that was established last October investigated more than 3,000 magistrates and found that more than 200 should not be working. Speaking to reporters, the Justice Minister Alexis Mwamba said that some of the magistrates had been arrested while others had disappeared. The U.S. military says it has killed 2 extremists with an airstrike in Somalia. U.S. Africa Command says the airstrike on Monday near Mubarak in Lower Shabelle region killed 2 al-Shabaab fighters, wounded 3, and destroyed 1 vehicle. The group, which has faced growing military pressure across Somalia, has stepped up attacks in recent months, including a massive truck bombing in the capital, Mogadishu, in October that killed more than 500 people. Captain of the Nigerian national team John Mikel Obi is likely not to play in Friday's friendly match against Poland. The Tianjin Teda midfielder had been unable to renew his work permit in China, where he now plays his football. This was disclosed in a statement released on Tuesday by the Super Eagles team administrator, Dayo Enebi. The Eagles will take on Poland on Friday. Former Spanish international Xabi Alonso is facing potential jail time after being accused of tax fraud. Spain's prosecutor has announced it is seeking a 5-year jail sentence and a fine of €4 million for the former Liverpool, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich midfielder. A statement released on Wednesday said that the 36-year-old who retired from football at the end of last season is alleged to have defrauded the Spanish state of €2 million between 2010 and 2012. They have also called for the same sentence to be applied to Alonso's financial advisor and the administrator of consultancy shell company, Ignacy Casanova. The singles champions at this year's French Open will receive 2.2 million euros, up 1,000 euros from 2017. This was announced by tournament director Guy Forget on Tuesday. The overall prize money will increase by around 10%, rising from 36 million euros last year to 39.2 million euros. Forget added that money for qualifying and first-round losers would again increase with 40,000 euros for players who fall in the opening round, that is 5,000 euros more than 2017. Well, that's it on News Now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.